more fights, more bullying, more anxiety in our students at both levels, all the way from elementary up to high school. I've seen a greater need for entertainment inside of lessons, that we're no longer, just instructing students, but we have to be entertainers and we have to keep them engaged, and it's never enough. Since the introduction of cell phones and social media, I've just seen a greater increase in a lot of these discipline issues. And also a lot of disruptions to class. We spend a lot of time managing behavior, so that we would spend more time managing behavior, but we spend less time teaching. And that leads me to my less list. I see less respect for teachers and for students with their peers. They have less basic knowledge of social skills. Students that before the introduction of social media and smartphones, students were able to engage in face-to-face conversations. I am a language teacher, and so the crux of my class is using social skills and communicating with one another. And it just seems that I'm having to teach basic skills like not interrupting and, being an active listener, things that I felt like were more intuitive for students prior to the introduction of cell phones and social media.
I think technology is a bit of a double-edged sword. It has enabled teachers to connect with students in really unique ways. Students who might otherwise be hesitant to connect in class, to raise their hand or to participate, they can participate when part of a lecture is digital, when they can contribute anonymously. So it really opened the door for connection that way. On the other side, students are looking for constant entertainment. When there isn't enough stimulation or high enough entertainment value, they don't see the lesson as meaningful. They're so wired now, I think because of technology, to be given that instant gratification, the ability to Google things and get the answer on a multitude of platforms makes them so incapable of struggle, even in the short term, that they just give up. They raise their hand. I can't find it. It's not there. Students have an incredible skill set. They really do. What they don't understand are the ethics of technology. They can be problem solvers. They can figure things out. They struggle a little bit. They require such an instant gratification. They're wired for immediate feedback and immediate answers when it comes to technology, that if they can't find it right away, it must not exist. But beyond that, they seem to live these two lives. In the real world, they understand the ethics, the right and the wrong, and how to speak to people. But in the digital world, they don't understand the ethics of it. Well, just because you can copy and paste that doesn't mean you should.
They didn't know how to interact with each other. It was hard to form groups and get them to work with people that they didn't know. At lunch, they were all on their cell phones and not talking to each other. Academically, it feels a lot more like I have to entertain kids more than I used to. So when I give notes, I have to find a way to make it more interesting. I have to find a way to give shorter segments of notes because they just can't pay attention like they used to. We loosened up our cell phone policy. It was also right around COVID, so 2020, 2021. Our school switched from 12-week trimesters to 18-week semesters. And we found that even though we had an additional 6 weeks, we couldn't teach any more information. The kids couldn't maintain the pace that we'd been teaching at for the last 10 years or so. And so we had to slow down, and now we spend 18 weeks covering the same amount of material that we used to cover in 12 weeks.
We have had a lot more kids getting diagnosed with things like ADHD than we have ever seen in the past. And we've also seen a lot bigger mental health type behaviors that we've never seen before. Kids running away because they're struggling or because they're frustrated, hitting, kicking other kids, hitting and kicking teachers, destroying classrooms.
Heightened disrespect for adults and for people in authority. And I think that comes from overexposure to computers and to technology, and certainly to our mainstream media, a disconnect with our students in how to appropriately speak and appropriately listen with compassion, for understanding with each other, and what they're not doing by spending time on devices. I don't see kids riding bikes and jumping ropes and hopscotch and the types of things that really build our brain.
It is difficult with video games, social media, lots of things where they're getting that release of dopamine, and they have all this entertainment all the time to get them to focus on a difficult task and sustain that focused attention for a long period of time. Students and discipline regarding inappropriate use of their phones, because you don't know when someone is checking their phone, or if they're snapping a picture, or if they're taking video, and it very well may be without someone else's consent.
Students have a tablet, a phone, a smartwatch, a school-issued device. It is a distraction, and it is detracting from teachers' ability to be effective teachers because of the constant distraction that those devices present.